I have a question for you. Who are the high-profile people working in city government? Is it police officers, firefighters, maybe the city manager or municipal court judge? Well, you're probably right about that, but we're not going to talk about any of them. Today, we're going to talk about some of the functions that you don't always think about, but they're among the most important to a city and all of its citizens. It's functions like solid waste collection, street maintenance, drainage maintenance, signal light timing, street and traffic signs and markings. Those are the kinds of essential things that public works departments handle. Welcome to Brazos Matters. I'm Jay Sokol. I get to chat today with Emily Fisher, Director of Public Works for the City of College Station. She oversees all of those functions and more. So in 2022, Emily was named Engineer of the Year by the Brazos chapter of the Texas Society of Professional Engineers. She served as College Station's Assistant Director of Capital Projects for 7 years before being named Director of Public Works. And she played an integral role overseeing construction of College Station's new City Hall, Lick Creek Nature Center, expansion of the Larry J. Ringer Library, and the College Station Police Department headquarters. Hey, Emily.
Hi.
How was that for an introduction?
That was great.
Yeah?
Yes, thank you so much.
You are welcome. So you and I worked together for 9 of the best years of your life. Did it feel longer than that?
No, it wasn't long enough, I feel.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. So you and I are visiting right now during the early part of the fall semester, which means enough 18 to 22-year-olds to fill most of Kyle Field just moved to the community. And for College Station Public Works, what does that mean in terms of increased workload and stress on your resources and people?
So, well, let's start with solid waste.
Okay.
So it usually means people are either moving in or they're moving out.
Right.
And it generates a lot more solid waste or trash. So this is one of our busiest times for solid waste collection. Just a lot of furniture going out, a lot of boxes, anything, and lots of other stuff that I won't name.
Can you give me just an example?
Oh,
Come on.
I can't even. I'm not even sure.
Are we talking toilets? What are we talking about?
Oh, we do get a lot of toilets, and they actually can be dangerous because they break, and that porcelain can cut the operator's hands. And we've had that happen. So toilets are dangerous, but we've had people try to put entire pieces of furniture into compactor units, and then the compactors try to close, and that doesn't work. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff that goes out there. But yeah, very interesting time for solid waste. But I think the biggest thing is, we are going to get to it. We do want to collect all of your trash.
All of your toilets.
All of your toilets, all of your old mattresses. But we're just there's so much out there. It puts us behind, and we'll get to it. We get behind, then takes a little bit longer than we usually take.
Well, if only your problem was, there's going to be some extra bags of trash. Like if only that was your problem.
Right.
So it feels like that College Station almost has a unique set of circumstances, especially for a city this size, with a university this size in it. Like how do your crews do what they need to do and do it as quickly as they do? Because it's not like everybody's following the rules in the way you're supposed to put items out or take things to a little landfill and all that kind of stuff. So how do they accommodate all of this?
A lot of patience.
Yeah.
So no, they're really hardworking. Got to give it to them right now in the heat too. It's just a pain, but yeah, it's difficult because the trash accumulates around the containers, and it's hard for them to pick them up. So you could definitely help them out by not putting stuff around the containers, so the trucks could actually pick them up and dump them. But really, it's a great group of operators, and I think they stay positive, and they work a lot of overtime during this time.
Yeah.
We work on Saturdays to get caught up, so they just have great positive attitudes, and I think that keeps them going, and we really appreciate them.
Well, if I remember correctly, your goal is that the driver doesn't have to get out of the vehicle, right? So what happens in these circumstances when it's just impossible for mechanically to pick up everything that needs to be picked up safely during these move-in, move-out times of the year? How do you do it?
We will skip, if we cannot get it with the automated truck, we will skip, and we'll let that account holder, whoever it is, if it's an apartment complex, we'll let them know that we were not able to reach their container and that they need to move whatever out of the way, and we will come back and service it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if your crews stop and get out and do this every single time,
We would never finish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You would never finish.
Yeah.
Do you even have enough solid waste vehicles to take care of your routes?
It's been a challenge to keep up with the growth of the city. So we just got, our budget was approved last night. So we have some new vehicles coming with our new budget. So that's good. The biggest thing right now is the length of time it takes to get a solid waste vehicle, just from supply issues still left over from COVID. So we're just seeing more wear and tear on vehicles that's putting them down for longer. So I'd say we have an adequate amount. A lot of them go down for longer periods of time, which puts us behind. And so it's just this constant trying to keep up, and then you've got everyone moving in, moving out.
So I've got a list of things that I was hoping we would talk about. I'm going to shift the order of these things a little bit because of what you just mentioned, because one of the elements I think that falls under you that I didn't bring up is fleet services and fleet maintenance. So you've got an entire crew or multiple crews that help extend the lifespan of these vehicles you're talking about, right? So talk to me about what they are asked to do and just the scope of the kinds of vehicles they have to keep running and so forth.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for bringing them up. So Public Works also oversees all the maintenance of the city's fleet. So solid waste vehicles to all the police vehicles, fire trucks, down to just the city trucks that the inspectors drive around. So everything. And we've got a group of great mechanics. We run a full repair shop, preventative maintenance shop like you would see anywhere else. So oil changes, tire rotations, tire changes, we do all of that. And then we can do small repair type jobs, but we also send a lot of vehicles out to have work done when we just can't do it in the shop that we have. But we have an entire warehouse for parts. Another issue is getting parts right now. It's still an issue. It's been going
Still
on
an
for
issue.
Yes, it's still an issue. Trying to prolong air filters and that sort of thing because you just can't get them right now. Still dealing with that, but yeah, it's a full shop. It's a great group of guys that keep that going, and yeah, you'll see just a wide range of vehicles over there if you drive by.
Just how highly trained are these individuals who work on your fleet?
So all different levels. We have certified mechanics all the way down to people just getting out of trade school and working their way up, which really makes it great because you can see the ones learning and working their way up. And we've got some guys that have been with the city for 30 years and are really highly skilled mechanics teaching the newer guys. So.
And we're talking about dozens of vehicles or hundreds of vehicles?
Oh, hundreds of vehicles, yeah.
Gosh.
The city's fleet it's I think between 700 and 800 vehicles.
Oof, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know that you and I have ever specifically talked about this, especially in this context, but what happens with Public Works as we approach a Texas A&M home football game? And then after that game, is it mainly traffic related, or what do you guys deal with?
So a lot of things. So to prepare for it, it is mostly traffic related. To prepare for a home football game, we definitely try to get the city appearing nice. We sweep the streets around campus, do landscape work, that sort of thing. Because we know an influx of visitors are coming. But there are going to be 100,000 people in Kyle Field, and then they are going to, a lot of times, not always, exit all at the same time.
Depends how the game's going.
Yes, yes. And it's funny how that works. And there's all kinds of data you can look at to see what, dependent on the score and what time it is, what it looks like. But so we work real closely with A&M, with Transportation Services and TTI,
right.
To develop an exit strategy for everyone. And so we basically, and just last night, council approved our contract with the contractor to put out traffic control devices, so barrels, signs, all over, to basically direct traffic and get them out of Kyle Field after every football game. So you'll see them start to set up about halftime of every game, and yeah, it's just kind of a joint effort. It's our police department, it's Public Works, it's our street crews that are out there helping them put that out. We have contractors that help us. Our traffic engineers are up in our traffic control center watching everything on the cameras.
Right.
They're in constant contact with PD and A&M via radio, so making sure everything's working. PD sits at a lot of the signals and controls them manually. So it's just a lot of logistics to make everyone safely leave and get out.
And so once everybody is gone, once everybody's cleared out, is there any additional burden left on your folks that
Just
kind of
to pick everything up.
pick up all the cones, pick up all the
yep.
barrels, pick all that stuff?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
One of the lesser known issues that I think your department has to deal with is replacing stolen street signs.
Yes.
I'm not going to mention which signs because that may encourage people.
That's backfired before.
Right? How much? Oh, you have a street that name?
Yeah.
I'm on it. How much of a problem is this?
It's a huge problem. It's. I don't know. I guess I don't know why signs are so important to people, but they just go missing like crazy. And there are certain parts of town,
right.
I won't name them because we love all neighborhoods equally. But there are certain parts of town where more go missing than others. But it's one, it costs, it could be a safety issue.
Sure.
And stop signs go missing all the time, and that is critical that those get replaced as soon as they go missing, because you don't want someone to get in an accident because the stop sign is missing. And so we replace those immediately. We have someone on call that will replace those as soon as we know they're missing. But
because you've got people and facilities to actually fabricate signs.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. Okay. Well, stop signs we just keep in inventory.
Okay.
But yes, we have the ability to just make the signs in our shop. But it's so it's a safety issue, and it takes a lot of time to replace those, and it's a drain on our resources.
It costs the city, I'm guessing, thousands of dollars to replace these signs every year.
Yes.
I have no idea. Is there technology in place where you can embed some kind of tracking device, or can you figure out whose house this street sign is sitting in?
Yeah, we have looked into everything possible, and we are kind of researching some different options out there.
Yeah.
We've tried different kinds of brackets to hold the signs on. They'll just take the whole pole with the signs.
Right.
Yeah, not just detach the signs. So, we are always looking at ways to keep those signs in the ground and up.
Surely your industry is going to figure this thing out once and for all. If you just tuned in, I'm Jay Sokol. You're listening to Brazos Matters, and my guest is Emily Fisher, Director of Public Works for the City of College Station. So, skimming through the city's fiscal year 2024 proposed budget, as one does, I saw where your department had 124 full-time employees and was reminded that your dollars come from a variety of sources. Mm-hmm. So I've got the list of funds in front of me. Can you do it from memory?
Sure.
Tell me.
Oh, yeah. So our funds, and we're very unique in that aspect. So we have general fund dollars.
Correct.
So our solid waste is funded by an enterprise fund by the rates you pay for solid waste. So we have our solid waste fund.
Yes.
We have a roadway maintenance fund. You pay a roadway maintenance fee every month on your utility bill. So
Okay.
that's another fund.
Okay.
We have a drainage utility fund.
Yep.
From a fee you pay every month, and then our fleet maintenance fund. So
You got all of them.
yeah.
You know this stuff.
Well, I am
You have to,
director.
you have to put this thing together. Do you want to focus on any of those funds in particular? Like the roadway utility fund is not. That hasn't been around forever.
No,
It helps
that's
you
a
do what you
fairly
need to do.
newer fund, and yeah, that's a great one to focus on because it is kind of newer. So everyone pays a fee monthly on their utility bill, and that is used for street maintenance around the city. It all goes to street maintenance. It doesn't. Whereas some of those other funds, can fund employees and that sort of things. The roadway maintenance fund, all of it goes to street maintenance, just to the work that's being done. So it's gotten, the fund has increased every year, so we've been able to complete more streets, even though the cost of doing the work has gotten significantly higher with everything that's going on. But what we started this past year, back in May, we had a public meeting just kind of showcasing our street maintenance plan, and we hope to do that annually. So anyone who wants to come in and see how that fund's being spent, what streets have been reconstructed recently or are on the list to be work being done in the next 5 years can stop by and see it and give any feedback that they have.
And you couldn't do nearly as much work without this fund.
Exactly. Before the fund, all of the street maintenance came from the general fund. So the general fund funds so many other
It
things.
competes with police and fire and
Correct.
all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's great. So you asked the city council for a few additional things to help in the areas of traffic calming and worker safety and landscape maintenance. Can you talk a little bit about those things?
Yeah, so the landscape maintenance, I'll start with that because we are, last year it was really hot and dry, and this year it's the same thing. And we just found we were scrambling to try to get all our irrigation systems fixed and correct, in the right sequencing and all that. So with an additional irrigator, we hope to be more proactive next year about making sure all the systems are up and ready when it starts to get warmer. This year we found out, now that we're in stage 1 drought contingency, that having irrigators is very important, because now we're having to go change everything and get it right on our days. Because the city's on certain days of the week too.
Oh yeah, you have to comply with your own,
with
your
our own
rules here.
ordinance.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be really important to have that additional irrigator. The safety aspect, we were able to get some additional attenuator trucks. So those are those really big trucks that have the kind of guardrail looking things hanging off the back.
To go behind the workers or?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and they can, the big ones you see like out on the highway, can stop trucks going 70 miles per hour.
Gosh.
Yeah, so very important for the safety of our workers. And we actually got a smaller one too that can stay behind some of our smaller crews working on more local type streets. And it's not as big. It can only stop slower vehicles, but safety is the number one thing for us. So when our crews are out working in right-of-ways and streets, we want them to be protected.
So I have a question about that.
Sure.
So in looking at the proposed budget, which is now the approved budget, it looked like that you were getting 2 more attenuator trucks, but one of them was perhaps for the fire department. Did I see that correctly?
Yes. So we currently have 2, and we got approved for one that's going to be used. It's going to live in Public Works,
Okay.
so it'll be stored over with us, but will be primarily used for public safety. So when there's a wreck out on Highway 6, that fire usually will block traffic with their fire trucks.
With their multi-million-dollar fire trucks.
Yes. And so we would rather use an attenuator truck to protect them rather than their multi-million-dollar fire engines.
So you guys funded that attenuator?
It's going to be out of the general fund.
Okay.
But and we still need to work out the logistics of like deploying it and that sort of thing. But we'll kind of be the keepers of it in Public Works, just because we've got the space back there to
Don't want it to take
keep
up
it.
a fire bay or something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. Okay, so we covered, how about traffic calming?
Oh, we have a great traffic calming program. There's information on our website, and you can call our traffic engineering division. But if your neighborhood is interested in slowing down speeders or any kind of traffic calming, we've got a program that you work through with your neighbors, and it's a voting system. So you've got to have a majority of neighbors that want it to happen. But if you do have that and you can agree on a traffic calming measure, which sometimes is speed bumps, sometimes is a little traffic circle, if you can do that, then we ask council for funding to fund that.
And so those aren't cheap, I'm sure. So how many can you, it looks like you have funding for, is it only 2 or 2 additional?
So the funding for this year will be the traffic calming that was the groups that went through it last year, which was Stonebridge, which is in the Wood Creek subdivision. So they're getting a small traffic circle.
Okay.
And then there's some, I believe there's some, I can't think of the street right now, but some striping and some speed feedback signs on another street that's going to cover. And then the program starts, the deadline just passed to enter the program for the next year. So next year we'll ask for funding for this year's participants.
in the budget book, it mentioned Dexter Drive and Arnold Road.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't know, how many of these projects you can generally fund in any fiscal year.
Yeah. So Arnold Road was actually a city-initiated one. The program gives us the ability to, if we think a road needs to have traffic calming, we can initiate it as well. So that one's just going to have some striping to slow people down as they go around a curve there. And then Dexter, they went through the process but did not have a majority.
Right.
So they didn't get there.
That's how it happens.
Yep.
That's how it works. I imagine from time to time you actually get to, whether it's attend conferences or some other way to interact with your peers from other cities. What are some of the issues that are in front of you guys, or you see coming, or you're trying to figure out? What are some of those things that you're talking about?
Still trying to fill vacancies is a big one. For a while, finding people with commercial driver's licenses was a big issue, but we've luckily made big strides with that. And not having that much of an issue, but still having trouble finding people. The city has great benefits and very competitive market, but and you can look at all of our job openings on our website. But yes, it's been a challenge. And when I talk to colleagues in other markets, I hear the same thing.
Yeah, I remember before I left the city, there was a real push. I think there were almost signing bonuses maybe for people with commercial driver's licenses, that it really was very competitive for that particular certification.
Yes.
So I know things change day to day, week to week, but you want to mention a couple of openings that maybe you have in Public Works that you would love people to check out on the city website?
Yeah, so equipment operators for our streets. So again, if you have a commercial driver's license, so operating in any kind of equipment, solid waste operators, so driving the big Garbage trucks, the big maroon ones, we're always in need of those. So those are some of the things up there that you'll see. Fleet, we're always in need of mechanics also.
Okay.
So that's another one that is sometimes difficult to find.
And so I think, if memory serves me correctly, the appropriate website is csjobs.cstx.gov.
Yes.
If I remember that correctly.
That's pretty good.
Thank you very much. I don't even have to remember that anymore, but I do. Finally, with the last couple minutes we have, you have kids, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How old are they?
They are 14 and 10.
Okay, so if I asked your 14 and 10-year-old kids, describe what mom does, what would they tell me?
So that's funny. My 14-year-old would probably say engineer, and that's about it.
Okay.
But my 10-year-old, he's so interested in what I do that he's just constantly asking and wants to make sure he gets it exactly right. He'll see things going on in the city. Is that you, or is that someone else? Is that you? So I think he would know down very detailed what I do.
That's awesome.
I know, because he's always asking, and maybe we've got another public works director.
Maybe we do. So does he try to impress friends? Like, see that building right there? My mom did that.
I have a feeling he does probably do that.
Probably doesn't impress his friends as much as he hopes it does.
The big one is the water tower, because I worked when I was in Capitol. We built the water tower,
Right.
and he loves to tell people about that. So
That is kind of
Yeah.
a cool thing, though.
yeah, I mean, I didn't have. There was a project manager that he had more to do with it than I did, but that's kind of the big visible one that.
See,
Yeah.
Mom is helping change the landscape and skyline of our
Yes.
city. That's pretty cool. So I know if folks want to actually go back and kind of do a little bit of reading and research of their own, they can go to the website. I believe it's cstx.gov/publicworks. Emily Fisher, thank you so much for your time. This was great.
Yeah, it was. Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you. Brazos Matters is a production of Aggieland's Public Radio, 90.9 KAMU FM, a member of Texas A&M University's Division of Marketing and Communications. Our show is engineered and edited by Program Director Matt Dittman. You can learn more about Brazos Matters and go back and listen to any of our previous episodes or any of our radio programs by visiting our website, kamu.tamu.edu/radio. I'm Jay Sokol. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day.